Hi, Christine. We are very honored to have you join us today. For the rest of you, this is Kristin Neumann. She's the founder of My Microbiome, which developed the world's first standard for microbiome-friendly products. So, Christine, can you share something about yourself with us? And why did you start My Microbiome?
Yes, so thank you, Irene, for having me, and I'm really honored to work with you. So yes, I'm a microbiologist by learning. So I have a PhD in microbiology, and I was always working with bacteria. And first of all, like a very exciting job I was working on, like the research on new antibacterials that would work selectively, was leading me actually to the topic of the microbiome, because I saw a huge difference between how antibiotics would work, but they would kill everything on our body, like all the microbes, in contrast to what we have developed. And there I came in touch with the microbiome topic and saw how different it is and how important the microbiome is, and how to address it selectively and not like killing everything, like also with like antibiotics in that case, or disinfectants and other antimicrobials that are on the market. So that led me to know or to recognize how important it is, and how then I, with my partner Tanya, we decided to develop a website. She put together that website where we would educate the broad public about the microbiome topic, so that the people would know that there's a microbiome and they would have to take care of it, and with actually everything they do in their life. So it's concerning every part of our life. So I think that is one big part. And then when we were working on that area, right, we saw that in the cosmetics field, there's already a lot of brands and companies working around that microbiome topic and claiming a lot of things. And we were seeing actually that they don't necessarily have scientific validation for that, and that's why we came up with that definition, that standard that we developed, in order to, first of all, like help brands like you to really develop microbiome friendly products, and also to give it like a tool for the customers in hand, so that they know what is the best choice when it comes to their products.
Well, you have a PhD in microbiology, so you study into all these microbes, right?
And yes, but it's not only, yeah, so it's not only bacteria, it's also viruses and fungi. So it's like a whole universe that is living on our body.
And there's an ecosystem on the face that is very different from other sites in the body.
Yes, right. So we have, like, you can imagine our body is like a planet, and we have different ecosystems, because we have different temperatures even on our body. We have different oxygen conditions. For example, in our gut, there's no air, there's no oxygen. So there's different bacteria and fungi, viruses growing then on our skin. And on our skin, we have different also sebum concentrations or pH levels. They're varying. Like we have a different scalp microbiota than we have on the face, and on the feet are very distinct. That's funny, I think. And of course, what is very specific and is the vagina. It's a very low pH, and there's only a few bacteria able to live there. And then we don't want a high diversity, actually. So there's the high diversity in the vagina is bad, because then you have some issues there. So it's very specific for every part of our body. We have different ecosystems, like on the planet, and there's different microbes able to live there. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Many people are not aware. So if you were to put together a simple explanation about what skin microbiome is, because many people are aware of what gut microbiome is. So how would you explain that in the simplest way?
So yeah, this the microbiome, as in your gut, is actually our body inside out is completely covered by microbes, bacteria, viruses, and fungi. That is it's actually covering our body like a carpet. You just cannot see it, but it's there, and it's your first line of defense. And it's not your skin. Your skin is the second line, actually. The first line that is meeting actually the environment is your microbiome, and it's protecting you. So the easiest way to think of it, it's completely covering your skin, and it's protecting you from pathogenic invaders. So everything that doesn't belong there it actually doesn't find any space to settle there on your skin because it's already occupied. And that is one very, very important task of our microbiome, to keep those bad guys out. And the other task is, of course, to keep the balance on the skin. So that guys that live on our skin, they also have to be in balance in order to have a healthy skin. And they're interacting a lot with our skin, with our skin's immune system. It's teaching it, it's also helping it to fight off pathogenic invaders. So they work very closely together, and it's bringing also nutrients, breaking down nutrients for the skin. So there's a lot of things happening there. And so in my opinion, and I think that's the opinion of the most researchers, it's that we wouldn't be able to survive without our microbiome, because it's fulfilling so many tasks that we would just be really naked and prone to everything that is the environment is attacking us. Like, you have to imagine, we are being attacked like all the time from outside, from pathogenic microbes. We just don't notice because we're fighting it off all the time. We just don't realize it. And the microbiome is having a big part of it.
It's amazing, right? We have this important skin barrier, the first line of defense. And it is actually the skin microbiome with, of course, the secretions and oil and sweat secretions all coming together to just develop that barrier, the carpet, like what you just said. So,
Yes.
So why should consumers even care about this, especially when it comes to beauty, right? So we talk about beauty and then know about this protection that the skin microbiome has on the skin. So how does these two link? For the consumer?
Yes, so actually the problem we faced until recently is that there's a lot of stuff we put on our skin besides the usual environment that is actually not good for our microbiome. So that like the conventional cosmetics, they have a lot of ingredients that kill our microbiome. So it's not only the preservatives, it's also different other ingredients, fragrances, surfactants, essential oils, even plant extracts. And it's not necessarily like that, but it like all adds up together. But so if there's a huge list of ingredients and cosmetics, you would have to think twice if you really want to put that on your skin, because there's a lot of effects that on your microbiome as well, and that is rather harming it than helping your skin. And I think that's already a nice movement here in the cosmetics field, that there's a lot of brands also like yours that are having the microbiome in focus and have a minimal approach to the skin daily routine, and also like not only the product itself, but also using less products in the daily beauty routine. I think is key, right? Because I think we don't need as much washing and exfoliating and like putting one cream for the eye, the other one for the nose, and the other one for the ear.
There are so many steps, and I think we are just inspired by certain beauty trend. And I like what you said. It is to keep it simple, because there are many consumers are not aware that there are so many ingredients. Like in a lotion, there's so many ingredients inside, and I think it is the ingredients that are not so compatible with our cells and our skin that's causing a lot of disturbance to the skin microbiome.
Yes.
Keep things simple, yeah?
Yeah, keep it simple. And I mean, of course, the best way, I just said in another IG live, is to stay outside in the nature and not go indoors and wash yourself in the river. But of course, we cannot do that.
That would be ideal.
Yeah.
Or have a pet and let the pet go out and let the pet come back again and bring some of the microbes into your house.
Yeah, that would be perfect. And have plants in your apartment if you're living in the city. Like,
yes,
get back as much as possible as nature as you can. Like, yeah, pets, dogs are perfect. Cats are too clean, actually. So dogs are better.
Okay.
Yes, research has shown that dogs.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm so glad I have a dog and a cat, so I still have a link to nature. I'm gonna make sure that
great.
Yes. They bring back all the microbes. Make sure that they're not pathogenic though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other question that I want to ask is really the link between us. We talk about skin microbiome, right? Okay, we talk about its diversity and its linked to sensitive skin condition. Apparently, there's a lot of studies that have been done recently, kind of show the link between the skin microbiome diversity and sensitive skin. What are your thoughts on that?
So actually, so I haven't studied too much the sensitive skin and how it is related to the microbiome, but what I've seen is that companies that are working towards products for sensitive skin, they also look for products or try to develop products that are not having any impact on the microbiome, and that goes along very well. So not harming the microbiome too much or not at all goes along with the skin sensitivity. So it is sure that a sensitive skin is having some disturbances in the microbiome. It's not necessarily the diversity, but I would say rather the balance between the microbes that live on your skin. So I would also always go for the balance, which is, I think, key. And yes, so I think if you have a sensitive skin, you also having, it's a good guess to go for the minimal and less is more approach. Both for microbiome and sensitive skin.
If you look at sensitive skin, the ingredients that kind of aggravate sensitive skin is also the ingredients that might not be microbiome friendly. I mean, generally, that's the kind of the thing that we have at the moment, right? Yeah. So this you mentioned about confusion. Customers of many users are confused with these microbiome claims, and that's why microbiome testing. You develop microbiome testing, and it is still fairly new. So can you share this microbiome product testing that you have developed, which we have kind of collaborated with My Microbiome to get this done? Maybe share a little bit more on what this is and why should customer care about this testing?
Yes, so what we are doing is we're not testing on humans. We are testing in vitro, which means we are doing everything in the lab. And what we're doing, we have all the microbes, the most abundant microbes that we found that would live in our skin on the different skin areas, of course. We can cultivate them in the lab. And then in the lab, we bring them together with the product, and then we see what is happening. So in the best case, we don't want the product to kill those microbes. And we have different setups. One is called the balance test, where we have Staphylococcus epidermidis, which is one that is usually good. And then Staphylococcus aureus, which is normally not there on our, should not colonize our skin, but we find it a lot with eczema, for example. So there is a huge imbalance, we know that. So for example, in this setup, we want the product to actually keep that balance between Staph epidermidis and Staph aureus, so that Staph aureus is staying down and Staph epidermidis is staying up, and not the other way around, which might happen if the pH is increasing and if Staph epidermidis doesn't feel so well, because it's actively also fighting off that bad one. And that's one test, for example. Then we have other tests where we do directly put the product in contact with the bacteria and see if they're killing them or not. And of course, the best thing to do is to have a product that you put on your skin where your microbes are, and this product won't kill those microbes. And that is actually what we're testing. And I think that is something that in the future I hope that the cosmetics market is only selling products that are like that they're not killing our microbiome. Yes. And then of course you can add something on top and like improve it in this or that direction. Depends on what you want to do.
Yes, that's the vision, yeah. So that all these products will be friendly. It means anything you pick up in the grocery store, in the mall, is all going to be good for the skin. And that's why when we develop our microbiome range, we approach you, and we work together last year, right?
Yes, you were very, very like one of the pioneers, right? You were very early and
in Asia.
Yeah.